Straight out the boot room to Wembley, our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one and one for all. Pass a move, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen. Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, 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 it's the Liverpool crew.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. 2 wins in a row. I haven't been able to say that for a while. It's been a mixed sort of few days, I think. Not really. We'll start with Atalanta. Let's just dive right into it. I think that's just the best way to go. Atalanta was a very mixed emotions game. You just alluded to it just before we started recording there. First half, I think we looked like the response was there. We looked like, we were having a good go. The team suggested we were going to fight. And, you get the goal 7-8 minutes into the game from a penalty. And you think, right, we're onto something here. We've got something going. And then, they got a bit more comfortable in the game as it progressed. Second half, they come out very comfortable and we just couldn't do anything. And we reverted back to that slow play at the back, passing sideways, passing back. I think Kelleher probably had the most touches of the ball on the pitch. And it seemed like a lazy way to fall back into the habits we've been hating the last few games. And it was just, I say, after a lot of promise in the first half, and obviously should have went 2-0 up with Salah, which we'll discuss in a minute. But yeah, it just seemed to, again, it felt a little bit like we give up towards the end.
I'll have to pinpoint that Kelleher never played. It was Alisson in goal.
It was, yeah. I'm so used to Kelleher. Sorry, I apologise.
Yeah, Alisson was back, and yeah, I put a post on Twitter before the game, just have a fucking goal, and none of this passing it around the back all game, and it was the same. It was soul destroying to watch. When we scored the first goal, you get your belief, you think we're going to get the bit between our teeth and go for it, and we just didn't push on at all. Like, I'm putting that up there with one of the worst performances I've ever seen under Jurgen Klopp. I just think the lack of urgency, the lack of interest to get forward. Again, it got from, we've scored the first 10 minutes. And you're thinking as time goes by, something's going to click soon, something's going to click, we're going to turn it up a notch, and it went flatter and flatter. It was like, if you allowed to bet on it, I'd almost say that we were told not to go for it, to not kill ourselves, to take our foot off the gas and concentrate on winning the game, not necessarily the tie, because it was a bizarre performance. The second half, as I say, was probably one of the worst I've ever seen Liverpool play.
Yeah, and I think more so again because of the promising signs in the first half. I think if the first half wasn't, filled with as much optimism as it was, then I don't think you look at the second half as badly as you do. I think it was like it was a case of what we've had all season, where we had one half of good football, but they were so far apart that it was just like, it was drastic. And yeah, it was just disappointing. As I say, that Salah chance to make it 2-0 is so frustrating, but it's one of them at the same time. Like, 9 times out of 10, he catches it flush and we're 2-0 up. And this obviously has to be the one time where it hits his shin and he has a Darwin Núñez finish a little bit.
It was mad performance.
Unfortunate.
I do think like they crumbled a little bit as soon as we got the penalty. As soon as we scored, we 1-0 up. We turned it up a little bit and we went forward for 5 or 10 minutes, and it looked like we were going to score again. And then it just stopped. They got a bit more confidence. Their crowd got behind them a bit more, and they grew and grew into the game, and we let them. And I think we could have played that game for fucking 4 weeks, and I think we'd have still only won 1-0. If not, we'd have conceded, because they probably had the better chances again. They look more dangerous going forward and look better as a unit at the back. We just looked, when they attacked us, we looked shambolic, and it was a worry. Kanate was woeful again. Yeah, just a fucking bad game all round. I think the soul destroying thing for me was the lack of agency, and as I said, I don't know whether they were told not to kill themselves. Got to gain somebody we need to win it. So
Maybe. It's one of them. It's just one of them we'll never know. And I think it's always going to be the question, isn't it? When we're not privy to that information. But yeah, I mean, Kanate, again, he's just probably the worst form I've seen him in ever for us. It's arguably up there with the worst form I've seen from a centre back in 3 or 4 games for us in a long time. I said Quansah should have started last Thursday. Quansah has never played as bad for Liverpool as Kanate has for the last 3 or 4 games, whatever it was. Again, I think we said it last time. People were drawn with Quansah to the mistake in the United game, which was a bad mistake, yeah, granted. But again, outside of that mistake, he had a good game, and he actually didn't deserve to be dropped in the first place, I don't think. And I think he showed again yesterday that, like, right now on form, he's ahead of Kanate.
yeah, I totally agree. Kanate, we've said before, I've said like he's a bit rash, a bit raw, does mad things when you don't expect him to. And then I've apologised and said, he's been in brilliant form for like 3 or 4 months. He's been spot on. We missed him when he was out. And then he's come back in and he's gone to pot again. He's all over the place. He just reminds me of Sal. I've said it loads of times that he could be boss, he could be colossal. He does everything right, and then he does something mental. And I think it just is all round form at the minute, just purely off. Everything he's doing, his passing, his marking, his tackling, it's all off. And yeah, I think Quansah's got to be nailed on to start while he's fit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll come to the Fulham game in a bit more detail in a minute, like. But for me, at the minute, the team that started against Fulham has got to start the derby.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think people were flapping on paper when they seen the team against Fulham. But
I wasn't, I'd seen people wearing. I genuinely wasn't one of
I'd
them.
have been absolutely pissed off to the core if you break the same team as Atalanta.
Yeah,
because it didn't work. It didn't, and I say that in the sense of they didn't try. They didn't make it look like they wanted to win. So whether that was a Klopp decision or a team just not at the races again, changes had to come. It came in abundance, didn't it? There was fucking changes all over the park, and it worked. I think the first half, we're going to talk about it in a minute, but yeah, I think it worked. We had a lot more energy, and again on paper, it didn't look great. You had people having meltdowns, but that's what it needed. It needed a massive overhaul. Whether it was just to fucking strike a bit of fear that players aren't untouchable and that they will be dropped, or at the very least to give them a breather because they've needed it. So yeah, it was needed, lad, and I think that the form we've been in, you've got to stick with your team that's just won the game. So
yeah. Do you think, like, now I've been trying to take as much positivity as I can from that Atlanta game, which has been hard, but I think you've got to try and look at it as a one-off game and, we've gone to a place that's notoriously hard to win. We've come away with a clean sheet and a win, although it wasn't obviously enough for the tie. But as I say, if you look at the game in the context of just a game, we've come away from a hard place with a win, and now with 2 games, with 2 games on the spin now with a win. So you've got to try and try, and I know it's hard when you've just been dumped unceremoniously out of a competition. We all thought we were going to piss, but in the context of just that game on its own, you've got to try and take the positives and use that momentum to build for the next 5 games now.
see, I think Klopp would have done. I think Klopp would have come out of that and gone, yeah, as you just said, we've won the tie, we've kept a clean sheet, which we haven't kept for ages, and there is positives to take. Just from with it, obviously, meaning Klopp's bowing out of Europe in that fashion where the players didn't really look like they gave a fuck. That's what got to me more like. But from a professional point of view, yeah, they've gone over there, they've won. So they've gone out with a little bit of pride, having won and kept a clean sheet. But I just think there was just something really, really off on the night. It didn't feel like Liverpool.
So
But
you know what?
I don't know whether that was down for the team.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? It kind of felt like as if they were just treating it as a a one-off tie kind of thing. It felt like they were treating it that way. Like, right, we've got our nose in front. These are starting to grow into the game. Let's just keep it tight and let's just get the win now kind of thing, and it kind of felt a bit like that rather
We,
than
play, we
trying to win
played
a
like
tie.
we played like it was 0-0 at Anfield and the away goal counts. That's what we played like. We played like we were 1-0 up in the tie, and we were just happy to just fuck about with it in our own half. And it was the same yesterday against Fulham, where we started off very much the first half just playing around our half, and I was like, it's happening again. There's just no agency in them. And then the second half, it all changed. But
yeah, well,
just the way we're playing as a unit. I don't know whether we're just lacking confidence, but it's brilliant playing football and having possession, but it's got to be in a place of danger. It's got to be in a place where you can make something happen, or they're not going to press you. They're not going to be interested in wanting the ball back because you're not posing a threat. And that's the thing. What frustrates me when you watch Man City, they're playing the footy we're playing around the back. They're playing in your 6-yard box and in your area. They're fucking whipping it across, pass back to back. You know what I mean? From one corner flag to the other, it's going right outside your box, non-stop, pure penetration from the fucking way goal. They done it to Madrid, and that's what we used to do. We used to do it in one cock up from a defender, one moment of brilliant movement from one of our forwards, and you're in. But we're doing it all at the back at the minute, and then that obviously changed in the second half against Fulham.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the Fulham game then, because like you say, it was very much a game of two halves. I think the first half, you get your nose in front. We weren't playing great, but we were creating chances. I think Fulham probably looked at our last few games and thought to themselves, let them have the ball at the back, let them have it. We're not bothered. And it worked to a point, but I don't think they ever really troubled us until we actually scored. I think they were just content with us having the ball. Obviously the free kick from Trent after the failed one from Harvey. What he's tried to do. Trent said in the interview, like, we know their wall jumps, and Harvey's tried to hit it under. He's done the right thing. Harvey, like Trent, hit him in the balls practically. That weren't going under any wall.
You know what? When I thought he just scuffed it, I thought he just completely scuffed it, but you could see what he was trying to do, so I get it, but he just fucked it on me.
Yeah, massively. But obviously, Trent's one that's why he's in the team. I thought it was a weird game. Like, they gave him man of the match, and I think he probably was the best player on the pitch, but I don't think anybody really had an amazing game. It was just I think everybody was just solid yesterday.
Yeah, there were like loads of sevens, weren't they?
Yeah.
They all done the job throughout the second half, as I say. Trent's the only one, and that's the thing, is he can make something happen out of nothing, like out of completely. He could have the ball at the edge of his own box, and next minute you're one-on-one with the goalie. He's got that in his locker. We haven't been playing to shoot him. Like, well, the way we're playing at the minute, it's just a long ball over the top, and that first half was so frustrating. It was just Robbo or Trent just hitting it deep into their half and open. And even if we got on the end of it, if there was no one to knock it onto, there was the gaps in between our forwards was fucking mental that first half. There was no one, like, when they were attacking us, they were attacking as a three. They were attacking as a unit. They were putting people in the box, and that when we do it, we just whack it up to one player and hope he can do something with it.
Yeah.
That first half was frustrating. Said before we scored, it's going to take something magical to break to fucking break them down and get in and score. It had to be something superb, and thankfully it fucking was.
Yeah, you knew as soon as you put the ball down, and I think he probably felt a bit pissed off that Harvey took the other one and hasn't really got it right, and I think he's probably had a bit of a point to prove, like this is why I'm taking the free kicks. Watch this, and then try to fucking post his stamp on in it. Top, like, couldn't have been any better top bin if he tried.
He made it look so easy, lad. He made it look like it was.
He always does.
Like there was no one there. He just got inch perfect. The keeper's nowhere near it. He before it's even like over the line, he's running away celebrating. It's fucking boss. As soon as it leaves his foot, he's off.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, his success rate for free kicks is actually terrible, but when he puts one in like that, you wonder why.
No, it's just hard to do, innit? Like all the time.
Not for him.
I know, but a lot of them, he does get them on target as well. He gets quite a few on target, but because they're there to do their job. To be honest, you shouldn't really be able to fucking score from there. And the way he's hit it, it's not like he's blasted it where the keeper's got no. He's give the keeper time to just make a step and dive there, but he just put it that close into the corner. No matter what the keeper's doing, he's not getting it.
Yeah,
But
the
that's
way
the
the way he described it after the game was actually quite interesting. Like he said, I don't have to put a lot of power on the ball because the way I hit it just generates the power anyway. And it's like, how does your brain even like? I just, I play footy and it's like, right, I'm gonna try and put a bit of curl on it, and it probably won't work, and I'll hit someone in the face on another pitch. And he's just like, yeah, so the way I hit it generates the power and it does this and that's like, fuck off, lad. Just nah.
They're just a different
Unfair.
breed. And
Yeah.
different. But
Um,
I think he did. He had a good game. He had that swagger about him, and then I think we were talking about like leaderships, and I think you put a post up to us there about Van Dijk, and I think Van Dijk's like a leader like Gerrard, where it's through his presence and his ability more than his leading skills.
hmm.
I think Trent was fucking dragging us all over the park there with his ability, and I think it caught on in the second half. I think people started trying to match him and play as
Yeah.
good as, and that's what you need. I think leadership-wise, the minute we look like we're lacking leaders, really do. We're struggling. Even at the goal we conceded in the first half, fucking absolute shambolic again. Just like pinging it round the box. It's hitting bodies and then falls to him. No one gets out to him. Simple passing to the fucking net. Frustrating because we just so lackluster in everything we do at the minute. And it was at half where I was thinking, we haven't played bad, but we haven't looked like really we're gonna go and kill a game. At 1-0, you could see they were going to have another chance too. But then the second half happened, and it was all smiles because we were fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and it's strange because I think it actually took the second goal for us to properly wake up. Like I think at first we were still a little bit, we were obviously on the ball a lot still and creating like half chances here and there still, but I think it did take that second goal for us to go, right, let's go and fucking put daylight in between us now. Let's go and win it properly. And Gravenberch made up for him because he's been getting a lot of stick lately. Took it very well. I don't know if you've seen the thing. They had a shot from behind him shooting Van Dijk celebrate before he even shoots. Like
Shut up.
he knew, yeah. Like Harvey gives him the ball and Van Dijk just throws his arms up celebrating before he's even took the shot, lad. And then yeah, it's I say great moment for him. He's took a lot of stick unnecessarily. I feel he's had a very stop-start season. So to get that to put us back in the driving seat properly in the game was big for him. And I think again it kind of just sparked something in everybody because I think up to that point, home midfield wasn't really playing that well. And after that, I think they were brilliant. Like Harvey, I don't think Harvey was particularly great up until that moment, and then after that, I thought he was fantastic.
But
Um,
I said about 2 minutes before he's going to have to take Harvey off shoot because he's just not impacting the game whatsoever. And then he done something with the ball, and then he won it back, and then he set him up, and I was like, fucking hell, don't listen to me.
yeah,
And that's the beauty of footy, innit? But yeah, I thought Gravenberch played well as well. Didn't just get the goal. He was the one out of all of them, even in the first half when we weren't playing great. He was trying to go forward and be progressive and get up the pitch, get the ball and go through the middle and be a proper midfielder. And it took until his goal for the rest to start doing the same.
yeah. And I think we finally discovered how we can, we've discovered the solution for Salah not playing, and it's Diaz on the right and Gakpo on the left because I thought that worked well. But particularly Gakpo, we've been saying it for a while. It's unfair the criticism he's getting because he's been playing out of position, and then the last 3 or 4 games he's been in his position, and we've played badly. But he's the only one that I think majority of people have said comes out with looking, can hold the head up a bit. And I thought again yesterday, I thought he was very good.
He's a different dynamic to the others. He does things differently. He's like a proper winger, isn't he?
Mm.
Goes up the wing and he gets the ball across the box, but he goes like on an angle towards goal. He's interested in fucking working his way into the box and getting shots off. Something that we haven't really seen enough of from like Diaz and Salah in the last few weeks. We're not direct enough. We're just like passing it around. He's getting the ball and going. He's 1-2s. He's finding space. He's working hard. He's winning possession back. So I think yesterday was more of a case of, he's had a good few weeks. He's come on, like grabbed the game against Palace. We looked a lot better going forward against Palace when he come on. Same against Atalanta. I think it was more of a case of you can't just drop in again. So that's why Salah. I don't think Salah got dropped. I think it was a case of
Can't drop him.
jackpot the team because it's unfair. And yeah, he probably. I think he was our best player.
Yeah, outside the Trent, yeah, it was a toss up for me between them two, definitely. And to be honest, I think he's probably got to think about it a bit more than the others because, like, Diaz is electric. I think he's probably lost a little bit of pace since his injury, like, but he's still electric. He's still very tricky on the wing. Salah, again, he's what 31, 32 now, but he has still got that pace. It's just the acceleration probably lets him down a bit. Gakpo isn't like that. He's not blessed with the pace that them two are. So I think he's got to be a bit smarter about it. He can't just knock it past and run onto it as often as the other two can. So I think, yeah, like you said, he just brings a different dynamic to the front line in general, I think. But I think he's shown he can't be playing up front anymore. He's got to be out wide.
Yeah, he's brilliant out wide. To be fair, I say he does what a winger should do. He wants to take a man on. He wants to go one on one with a defender and take him on and get his way into the box. And that's what we're lacking at the minute. Just someone a bit more direct, someone who's just willing to just get the ball and get towards goal and make things happen. And so he was the one doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the minute, I think you're probably right. He's got to be starting on the left.
And then obviously Jota gets the third, who didn't have a great game in fairness. I was saying it yesterday. We've had players who get numerous injuries and it's dead frustrating, and he's obviously one of them. But I feel like he takes the longest to get back into the groove of things when he comes back from an injury. I feel like it takes him longer to get back up to speed than other players. But he took his goal as we expect him to yesterday. But again, I think that just bought him an extra 5-10 minutes on the pitch. Really, I don't think he had a great game outside of that. In fairness,
I think he took him straight off after he scored.
Yeah, he did actually. You're right.
Because I was waiting on Endo to get booked for 3-ton. I had that Paulina to have a shot on target. Oh no, him to get booked, sorry. One of theirs to have a shot on target. Jota to score. One of theirs to get booked. Endo to get booked. Liverpool to win. And was waiting on Endo. Obviously, Jota scored just before he come off. And yeah, I think the thing with Jota is he's not involved in a lot of the play. So I think that's why it takes him longer, because he's in he plays in the heat of the moment. He's just like one chance and he'll bury you. Do you know what I mean? He might not be involved in all the build up and that. He just sticks to what he knows, like being on the last man, getting him behind, getting him in front of the goalie and getting his shot off. And I think it just takes him a bit longer because he doesn't get included in a lot of the play. He does look rusty. That shot that he missed it, that should put us in the lead. He missed a few, but again, even when he's playing bad, he's one of them players you don't want to see coming off, because he can do that. He can just get into a space and bag you a goal. Yeah, I think he's got to be starting, and I think it's a lot less likely. Nunes, I think I spoke to quite a few people in the pub, and everyone's on the same hymn sheet now that they're just sick to death of him. They're frustrated with him. He's got no faith in him going to score a goal or win us a game. Even yesterday, he come on and he's shooting from angles that it's not mathematically fucking possible to put the ball in the net from, especially when you are out of form. He just does the wrong things at the wrong times. And I've said before, like, if you put, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but see what happens at the end of the season. But you'll be able to pick 4 or 5 games where, or say 3 or 4 games we haven't won, where he could have put us 2 or 3 up. You know what I mean? And just, I think you've got to be starting Jota the head of him at the minute. Use him for what he is, a very good impact player until he finds his form again. But at the business end of the season, you can't afford to be having players just missing chances. So, yeah, stick with Jota.
Yeah, and it's just story of Nunes, isn't it? Like we didn't have a single offside all game until he come on. and then he got our first one like almost immediately. It's just it's frustrating, and the reason it's frustrating is because how many people want him to do well. Like everybody wants him to succeed at Liverpool, and that's why it's frustrating. Like but it's weird because I think what was he was like he had 8 goals in 11 games or something, didn't he? And then he's
Yeah.
just kind of went completely out of form again. It's like a switch with him. It just when it clicks, it clicks. When it doesn't, it's horrendous.
He reminds me of like Ibrahimovic. He was the same. Like he was on his day unplayable, world class, and then just shit. Just like he'd play in big games and just go missing, or he'd miss sitters and stuff, and you'd be like, he is two different players, and I think he's the same.
Yeah.
Like it winds me up because there's been so many games where we've been like in a position where we could have killed it, and it's him who missed. But say I don't want to. I'm not turning me back on him. I just think even yesterday, he's come on at 3-1 and he's had about 3 or 4 chances, and just you just it's at a point where like if the ball's gonna drop it in the box, you don't want it to land to him. You'd rather it be fucking like Enzo or someone before him because he's just pouring from the goal. But I think he's got something in him. It's more frustrating for me because you can see there's a player in there, the determination in him, and he works hard. Can't knock him. We are a better side when he's on the pitch. We are more fucking, what can you call it, unpredictable. When he's there, he gives us that sense of like something can happen out of nothing, as opposed to like the slow build up when he's not there. But yeah, I think he needs to get himself a goal and get that confidence back, which you obviously only get through playing. But at the minute, with only 5 games to go, I don't think you can risk him starting.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like, another player who isn't in great form at all, and I think he's hindering us a little bit himself when he's coming on is Szoboszlai. I think he gave the ball away every single time he had it. When he come on yesterday, he was on for 7 minutes. And I think it was the same with the Atalanta game. I thought, again, it might be just me noticing him more than others, but it felt like every time he was getting the ball in previous games as well, he's just giving it away. He's so sloppy at the minute. And it's frustrating again with him because you can tell it's because he's trying stuff that no one else is trying. But at a point in the game where you're losing and you can't be affording to give the ball away, it just every time it seems to fall to him. That's what he's doing, and it's just again might be being a bit harsh on him. First season, he's had his own injury problems. We probably all hyped him up too much at the start of the season. I think we said that a few episodes ago. So it's probably a little bit of our own fault as well. But it is not worrying because we've got the bodies there, but it's just a little frustrating as well.
Yeah, he's the same. He's either absolutely unplayable, world class, so everything he touches is gold, or not with it whatsoever. Can't play a single 5-yard pass. Proper struggles. Like it is a mad one. He's another one at the minute. He was a nailed on starter, wasn't he? Had his injury, struggled a bit, and then had a good 2 or 3 weeks where he looked back to himself, and then went to pot again. So I don't know. I'd say the same with McAllister. In one moment, we're talking McAllister's probably one of the best midfielders in the world. We're all made up for him, and then he can't sing a pass, or he's out of position, and he's just not the same. The only one who plays well all the time when he's defending is Endo. Even when like Endo having a bad game is usually because like there's no help. He's the only one having a go. Do you know what I mean? That's his bad game where he's sort of isolated on his top, but doesn't really do much wrong. Does his job, sticks to his position, and keeps us ticking over in the middle. It's down to the other lads with a bit more ability. Your McAllisters, your Szoboszlais, to get the game by the scruff of the neck and run with it. And some games they have, some games they haven't. But I think that's just the story of our season at the minute. We've just got like a switch in every single one of the players where they can be out of this world or fucking piss poor. It's mad.
Yeah. Now, I think you're right about Endo. The only thing for me with him, and I've noticed it a little bit more often now, is when we pass it out to him and he sort of tries to take it on the half turn a bit. He gets caught with that so often. And he loses it in dangerous positions quite a bit there, I think. But at the same time, I've said this for a few weeks now, we have this weird habit of giving the ball to the player in the most danger.
Yeah, it's
Um,
bizarre. But there's Canate, he's a fucking nightmare for it.
mm,
Because you could have fucking you could have Trent in space on the right of him or Endo with 3 men around him. You'd give it to Endo.
mm.
Like
But the
fucking
thing
hell,
is
and
as
that's,
well, he fizzes it into him like he does.
I know.
He doesn't even like try and make it so it's an easy pass to control. He like fucking launches it at him. It's such a difficult thing. But Kanate isn't the only one. I think a lot of players are, are guilty of it, and it's frustrating because a lot of chances teams get against us are our own fault.
You know, it's hard, isn't it? Because, like, in one sense, we're moaning that we're passing it around the back and we're being a bit too safe. But then when we do try and get out in, like, a dangerous manner, we fucking moan at that as well. So it
Mm.
must be hard for them because I agree with you. You don't want to be seeing them passing it out like that, but on the same spin, you do. You want to see
Yeah,
them going forward.
can't win. We're just moaning bastards.
That Curtis Jones, every time he got the ball against Atalanta, you knew it was going backwards.
Yeah.
Just absolutely fucking pointless. I was made up he went in the team against Fulham because I think that's one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a midfielder. It was so Joe Allen. And I like Joe Allen because he was there to do a job, which is just keep it ticking over. What Endo does, but not your player who you're expecting to go and fucking help you win a game. He just didn't want to be on the ball at all.
Yeah.
Again,
Now
I don't know what confidence with him because before his injury, he was one of the first names on the team sheet.
He was.
He was brilliant. So again, you've got loads of people turning their back on him, saying he's proper shit and that. He's had a bad few performances of late, but I think he's just the same. He's just growing into. He's got to grow into it and get back to get the rust off and get back to normal. But at the minute, like I think I think because we're in a bit of bad form, everyone who does something wrong, we're dramatising and it feels 10 times worse because of the pressure that's on us. So imagine how we're feeling and imagine how they're fucking feeling as well with the pressure on. So it's hard.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed about us the last while we've been in this bit of bad form, and they picked it up at half time in the game yesterday, is the movement of the players. I think there was a bit in the first half where Gakpo had the ball and he's running forward and he's got no one to pass to. I think he ends up having a shot and it gets saved or something like that, or he passes it out just outside the box when the chance is gone. Then you know what I mean, and then he has a go with someone, and he was right. Like the movement is horrendous. It's like they're just running in straight lines. They're not doing anything to try and create any space. So
and there's no overlapping either.
no, there's not, and it's been like that for a few games, and like yeah, it's frustrating the sideways passes and the back passes and all that. But if there's no movement further forward for them, again, like you said, you moan if they do and you moan if they don't. You know, they're not just going to hoof it up all the time if there's no movement for anybody. That's just pointless. So you've got sometimes there has got to be a little bit of ball retention in that sense, but at the same time, it's been far too much lately. But again, I think that is also down to the lack of movement.
Yeah, so I think it's just something's been zapped out of us. I don't know whether it's took its toll. We're trying to play the same system as when we had Mane and Firmino. And unfortunately, we haven't got them anymore. Mane could make space out of fuck all. Salah at the time could. And obviously, you've got Firmino, who committed to the midfield. Defenders would follow him, and you'd have your wingers getting in behind. We're not playing that. We're trying to, but it's not working for us. We don't play that way anymore. So if you think of like a lot of Salah's attacks have been where he's been on the right wing and he's done like a 1-2 with Trent and it's gone back into the corner of the box and then he wriggles through and gets a shot off. He's not getting in them positions because no one's coming up the pitch with him. So at the minute, that's where like I was a bit worried about Atalanta because I don't know what our system was. I don't know what our tactics were. I don't know what our football was. And for the first half against Fulham, it was similar. It was just very much keep it at the back, whack it up, and see if we can win it. And if we win it, we'll lose it because there's no one with us anyway. So it's just at the minute, it's all up in the air, innit? We haven't really. It's not the Liverpool we know. It's not that identity that we've been brought up with Klopp. That a Klopp team. You know, for all we know, looking at the footy, Klopp's already gone, and there's someone took over, and we're playing a completely different system because that's how it looks at the moment. I just think they zapped of all energy and don't know whether they just feel like the hill's too fucking high to climb. But say on a positive note, we've won against Atalanta 1-0, kept a clean sheet, beat Fulham in the end quite convincingly. We could have scored a few more. We looked a lot better. We looked a lot more like Liverpool in the second half. We had that energy again. We were pressing, we were fighting, we were hungry, we were winning the ball, and we were creating chances. So 5 finals to go. Just hopefully we turn up, and we've said it all season. If Liverpool turn up, they win. We're our own worst enemy. We've just got to turn up. You know, we go to Everton on Wednesday. It's going to be hard because they're the type of team at the minute that we're struggling against. Anyone who's sitting in deep where we've got to go long, and we don't really create much from it. So that's going to, don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The worst time to be in the form we are creating. Well, not even not creating, but like just the way we've been playing, minus the second half of Fulham. Absolute worst manager to come up against is Sean Dyche, like the most Brexit manager on the planet, currently still managing. You know, he's taken over the mantle of Sam Allardyce in that respect. I think now he is. He's just obviously, you know, the points deduction makes it look worse for Everton, but I think without it, they'd be on like 38 points. They'd be well and truly safe at this point, like, which is a lot, you know, their fans, I can't believe I'm going to be like positive about Everton here, but I've got to show them a little bit of respect because we're playing against them next and don't discredit them. But now I think, you know, based on their last few seasons, to be technically safe at this point, if they didn't have the point deductions, like they'd fucking would have bit your hand off for that at the start of the season. So the fact of discrediting him because he doesn't play the nicest footy in the world is just mad. You can't. We said it about the teams at the bottom earlier this season. You know, your Burnleys, your Lutons, your Sheffield Uniteds. Like you can't be trying to play footy when you're at the bottom. You've got to just fucking try and win. And Sean Dyche is unfortunately the perfect manager for when you're shit and you're in a relegation battle. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they will deal if they've got any sort of, you know, ambition about them. He won't be there in a couple of seasons because they'll want someone to try and progress them a bit again. But right now, he's exactly what they need.
Yeah, he's like a stopgap, isn't he? But don't get me wrong, when he had Burnley and he was able to buy players and get a decent team, he always made Burnley a hard team to beat. I think there was one point where he finished like mid-table, and he done all right with them. They played all right footy going forward, but they were a fucking bunch of yard dogs at the back, and he hasn't got the ability in his team. And Everton, it must frustrate him. They've spent like £1 billion. The fucking shit. I don't know how they've spent the money they've spent on that team. Cheated to buy players, overspent, and got worse. It's madness, lad. It's could only happen to Everton.
They make history all the time, don't they, lad?
Yeah.
Spend the bill and get worse. Cheat and get worse. Only Everton.
Lad.
Put that next to the floodlights.
The only thing with them, obviously, at the moment, we will struggle. I think we will struggle.
Yeah, we will.
We struggle. But their team shouldn't even lay a glove on us. They haven't got the amount of ability you need to beat a team like Liverpool. But don't get me wrong, we're saying the form we're in. Currently, the form we're in, we just beat Fulham 3-1 and 1 away from home in Europe. So it's not too bad. We just need to get this bit of energy from somewhere where we're fighting for the loose balls and that. Like even that, the goal Fulham scored, that's the type of goal Everton will get where it's scrappy around the box and it falls to someone. But that's the only way they're going to score, or a fucking set piece. They shouldn't lay a glove on us really. But say it's a Merseyside derby. I think if they win that, I think they'll celebrate like the safe. I think they'll know the safe if they win it. And it'll also fucking dampen our title charge. So I think that as fans, as a team, that'll be their team talk. You know, it's a 6 pointer for them in a way that they can kill us and save themselves in the same day. But you know, it should be ours as well, that we can heighten our hopes, get a little step closer to the season being over and still in the title charge, and we could put them in a situation where they can still go down the last day of the season. So we've just got to You know, there shouldn't need to be a big heroic team talk. It should just be fucking get out there and beat these dogs.
Yeah. No, yeah, we are going to struggle. I think, especially at Goodison, we a lot of the time do struggle there anyway. Even when we've had, even when we've been brilliant in the past, you had that year when it took a Daniel Sturridge, a Mane goal in the very last fucking kick of the game to win it. I think, we to do with them.
Loads.
We to
Our
do with
record there's not great, is it? In terms of
no,
win,
no, it's not.
you know, it's always a hard place to go because
it's the same with everything in it. Like everybody turns up against us, and
they're
none
not
more so than them.
entertaining the crowd, and that's where the fans get a cob on because they still think they're a big team and they still think they should be playing the fucking school of science way. But they don't realise that it's been absolute years since they were good and they're fucking shit, and they've got to realise it.
And school's closed down.
Yeah, yard dogs, lads. The dogs are war. Yeah, the fucking school's been closed for 40 years.
Ofsted got involved.
Yeah, fucking teachers well dead.
Yeah.
But no, again, credit to Sean Dyche. He will not give a fuck if he's booed off the pitch because they played like dogs. Because if it gets them a point or 3 points, he's happy. The fans don't get that. You know, as we've said, it's all good and well playing lovely footy. If you're offering me fucking 1-0 now, off little arms as fucking fingertips onto the bar, onto someone's head, you're swiping it away, you're taking it.
Yeah, 100%.
You take anything you can in a derby against a team like them because they're always a tough opponent because they're not interested how they play. They won't try and entertain. They'll sit in, but I think they'll feel like they have to win. So I think they might have to change up a little bit. They might have to come at us.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can't see that Beto being involved, and I think that's probably good because I think they probably would have looked at the way Atalanta played, how much trouble that Scamacca caused for us, and I think he would have actually been their best option for it, just for the sheer size. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin is good in the air himself, so I think that again they'll very much be targeting. If it's Quanta, they'll be targeting Quanta. If it's basically whichever one of them isn't Van Dijk, they'll be targeting. And yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think Beto would have been better in that situation for them, to be honest. But no, look, it's going to be tough. Like I've never known a derby to not be tough, even when we've been ridiculous and they've been absolutely dog shit. There's still points in the game. I mean, they still are dog shit, but there's always points in the game where you just like shit. They're gonna fucking do something here. Don't let them score. It's like. But I think this time it's like you go into all the derbies recently and think, yeah, we're pissed. It's going to be dead easy, and then you come away frustrated and pissed off that we haven't because they've shit ours the way to a 0-0 or something, which is fair play. But this one, it's like because of the form, because of the performances lately, I think I am going into it a little bit nervous, I must admit.
Yeah, I am, to be fair. And do you know what? As mad as it sounds, it's fucking nice that it feels relevant, that it feels like it's a derby, feels like it's a proper game. You know, their fans are going to be right up for it. We're still in a fucking title charge. We've got to win every fucking point to have a chance of winning the league. And it does feel massive again. So it's nice, but say just depends what Liverpool turn up. If Gakpo plays how he can on the left, and you've got Diaz running rings around players, and Jota's getting into spaces, and the midfield turn up, it could be a fucking cricket score. Someone's going to get a hiding soon. Someone's got to because we're creating too many chances for someone not to. I think we've had about fucking 40 odd shots in the last few games, haven't we? So someone is going to get a hiding soon. Something's going to click for us where someone just takes a pace, and all being well, it's on Wednesday. It'd be amazing. But we've got to go into the game knowing that they're probably only going to create 1 or 2 chances. They're only going to come out the half 2 or 3 times, and they're going to be desperate. But as you've seen, a lot of the sides this season, a lot of the chances we are conceding are resulting in a goal. So we've got to be very wary. We've got to just be on the top of our game and be free flowing, committed, be ready for a fight as well. They're not going to fucking go down without a fight. So let's force them into it and fucking let's just go for it. We've got nothing to lose now. A point, I don't think a point anywhere is worth a fucking carrot to us. We've got to win all our games. So be brave, go for it. go for the throw from the off, let them fucking dread every minute that goes by, and make it feel fucking horrible for them. But we can shut the crowd up in the first 10 minutes as well. They'll be gone. If we can have an early goal, they'll go from feeling on top of the world with all the little flags and that they've been doing, cop-out behaviour that they call it. They'll be doing all that again. They'll be parading dogs around Goodison. And if we can shut them up from the first 10-15 minutes, they'll turn hostile on their own players. Then let's use it to our advantage, because it's a fucking horrible place to go, but it's a horrible place for their own team to play when it's not going their way. So we've got to play the chess. We've got to fucking play them at their own game and turn them on each other.
Yeah. Can't imagine there'll be too many corruption shouts tomorrow after on Wednesday after yesterday with them 3 penalties. But yeah, let's not get into that one. That could be a while.
Do you know what? It's mad. Like, it's absolutely mad, and people are saying that Forest should just take it on the chin. Gary Neville saying it's a fucking embarrassment that they've come out with the statement they've come out. What, you want them to just lie down when it's absolute blatant cheating? Absolute blatant to the point of it's actual cheating. Like what's happened to us against Tottenham, the handballs. It all leads to a bigger picture, doesn't it? And I've said to you at times, I feel like they have all just sat in an office and gone, go ahead, let's see what we can get away with here before they all kick off. Because that was mental.
Yeah.
And the fact that, they've made a statement saying they spoke to the officials and they wanted them changing because he's a Luton fan and stuff like that. Like, I've just read an interview with a referee who's a Newcastle fan.
Michael Oliver.
Is it Michael Oliver? He's not allowed to manage referee Newcastle. He's not allowed to referee Sunderland. And if there's a game in which the result can have any impact on any of them two teams near the end of the season, he's not allowed to referee them. So I'll just fuck.
So I've seen that myself, and it's not that he's not allowed to referee it. It's just he doesn't want. He said, I wouldn't want to. Like, this is when Newcastle was shit and we're like fighting relegation every season. Like, to be fair, but he was saying, like, March, April time, if there's a game that could have ramifications for Newcastle, I don't want to referee it. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth anything. But they've clarified it all on that a bit. Well, not clarified, they haven't really, but they've basically said the rules for selection is they fill in like an allegiance form at the start of the season. And they've got to say who they support. So they use the example of if a referee supports Birmingham, then he can't referee Aston Villa games because they're the biggest and most direct rival.
Yeah.
But he could referee a West Brom game. There's still a rivalry, but they're not your direct rivals. They're not your biggest rivals. So does that mean then if me or you were a ref, we couldn't referee Everton games, but we could referee United or City games?
Exactly.
It's that's what they've said anyway. So whether him being a Luton fan, I mean, I suppose you could argue it's a conflict of interest, but or if the Premier League come out and say, well, his allegiances don't lie with anybody related in any way to Everton or Forest, then that's them covering, that's being shit houses, but it's them covering their own backs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. At the end of the day, lad, you've got to be professional enough. If I was a referee, you become a referee knowing that, decisions I make will fucking mould my career, basically. So if I'm starting to look like a cheat, I'll get found out as a fucking cheat. So even if I was managing Everton games, I'd want to give a fucking 10 penalties against them, but I can't because it's my job not to. It's me job to referee. So the fact that them conversations are even had is like a worry anyway. The fact that they've brought it to the attention and said there's a Luton fan, we don't think it's best that he's involved, and they've done nothing about it. Even just for the sheer leveling up, just going, yeah, do you know what? If anything did go wrong here, it does look bad. Let's just fucking save any hassle and remove him. Get someone else.
But at the same time, like, to be impartial about it, if they go to the PGMOL and go, right, look, Stuart Atwell is on VAR, he's a Luton fan, we don't think he should ref this game, and they go, all right, yeah, sound. Can then we go, right, well, Paul Tierney's reffing our game, we don't want him. Think it's a conflict of interest.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, there's only so many referees available that every team can't just go and have their own, like, preferences when it comes to referees. They said they try and do it so like if you referee Liverpool one week, then they try and do it as best to their ability, so you're not refereeing Liverpool again for like a month.
No, but the likes of Paul Tierney, how many fucking cock-ups has he done with us? We'd be within every fucking inch of the law right to say we shouldn't be having him as a referee. He's fucked us too many times. So
I agree, but where do you draw the line?
When you've made, like, obviously, it's hard, isn't it? But you should be able to be outspoken. You should be able to say that referee's fucked us on 12 points this season. We don't want him. There's obviously some bias towards us or against us, whatever. We don't want him. We don't think it's in the fucking integrity of the game to have him refereeing us because he's not fair. Obviously, beforehand, with them mentioning the Luton thing, you know, how far do you take it? But as that Michael Oliver said in his thing, if there's a conflict of interest, if you could make a decision that could have these comments made about you, then you should just withdraw yourself anyway and say, do you know what? I'm a Luton fan. I don't think it's great that I get involved with this. So it should be done before it. Shouldn't be brought to the attention of the public. It should just be in-house done. Yeah, he's a Luton fan. Does make no sense to have him in this game in a fucking relegation battle. You know, it should have been done beforehand in-house. No dramas.
I think the other thing that's been pointed out as well is, you know, the result that would have benefited Luton the most would have been the draw. So it doesn't make any sense that he wouldn't, you know, that he'd be favouring one team or the other, because one team winning doesn't favour Luton. So,
no, to be fair though, I think it does, lad. I think Everton are out the picture, aren't they? I think
probably
Everton,
like, but they don't think they are. That's the thing.
Everton are pretty much safe. They are. They've got games in hand as well. They've got like 2 games in hand over everyone. So I think that's Luton basically. They've got Burnley and Sheffield United down and the Reds and the chasing
between them and Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to your all-time favourite subject to discuss on the episodes, and that's Liverpool's next manager.
Fuck off, lad.
We've got a question about it, so we're going to have to talk about it anyway. We'll get to them in a minute. We haven't got too much more to go over anyway, but you know, it looks like it's not going to be Ruben Amorim now, who was a lot of people's second choice after Alonso.
He wasn't, though, was he? He wasn't.
He was some people.
Do you know why he was?
After Alonso, I weren't really bothered.
He was because the press told us we were getting him. That's it.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's the only reason. No cunt out there has wanted him just because they know. I don't believe for 1 minute that most people know who he was until it got leaked that we were interested in him. We might not have been interested in him. He might still be interested in him, and he might be coming, but we don't know. All the speculation and all that, people moaning that the club are being too quiet and stuff. We've got 5 games left to go to try and win a league title. The last thing we want to be doing is fucking leaking news about future managers and shit. Just forget about it. You know, forget about it altogether. It's inevitability that we're going to get a new manager. Whoever it is, we haven't got a fucking say about it. He's coming in. We know who he is already. Guarantee you. Everyone they know who it is. Michael Edwards hasn't took that job, not knowing who the new manager is. I guarantee you. There's been discussions somewhere. Someone knows he's going to be the next manager, and that's my firm belief that it's going to be someone that we're not linked with. Yeah. Because there's no one. You know,
we're getting Rafa back. That's what it is.
We've got a committee there, lad, and we're obviously leaking stuff. You know, I think we would have went for Alonso, but he's sticking where he is. I think that's the best thing for all parties. He comes into us with the affiliation he's already got, taking over from Jurgen Klopp, who we adore. It's just not set to work. That too much pressure too soon. He's been a manager for 18 months, and you know it's one of them. Amaron, I've seen one game where he's involved in it, and it was only because they won the league, or they were favourites to go on to win the league after that game. So seeing that, I mentioned to you what I liked about him, that he was still grilling his defenders while everyone in the stadium celebrating their asses off. Thought I like that, so winner's mentality. But say that doesn't interest me at all. Who comes in, because I've got no control over it.
Yeah,
I probably if it's someone I don't know, I probably won't like them anyway because it won't be Klopp. So from the first word go, I'm not going to be. There's not a single person out there who actually physically excites me. Even conversations, Jose Mourinho and all that. You know, I've said point blank, I think Liverpool need to go full circle, go from Mr. Nice Guy, Jurgen Klopp, Mr. Funny, the normal one, and get a fucking crazy lunatic to head in who's going to play with a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, do whatever it takes to win, not necessarily fixated on a style of football that's entertaining, just wants to win football matches. I think Jose Mourinho guarantees you trophies. I think he's just too good not to get a chance at a big club again. And the only reason why I would have an interest in him coming here is because of the complete fact that he's the opposite of Klopp. And I think that's what we need. We need a complete fucking gobshite. That's what he is.
Well, I mean, you've given me a nice segue into the questions there, because the first one, as I mentioned, it is about the manager. So, from your little Jedi, he has sent us today. I am going to start this with the preface that he sent us 3 questions. I am only going to ask 2 of them on here, simply because, I know we throw a lot of swears out every now and again, but like the third one, it's just like if there's any normal people watching or any kids listening and stuff like that, we just can't ask this one. So go and look at me Twitter, at LFC Groove. Go and look there, and you'll see the question he's asked. And if anybody wants us to, we'll answer it on Twitter for you. But yeah, we're gonna leave that one just for Twitter alone, because it's just a bit. You've finally done it, lad. You've finally done it. You've done so. You've finally give us a question that we can't ask on the fucking podcast, lad. Well done.
But my answer is the second one. Because it's a bird's body.
Yeah, me too.
And not a man's body.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's as much of an answer as you're getting for that one on here.
From behind, so we don't have to look him in the eye.
So as I said, you mentioned the Mourinho. It's a nice segue, because he says, if you don't want Mourinho, then as our next manager, why not? And for me, I think his ideas are outdated. I think his football is outdated now as well. I just don't think he's got it anymore. I think he struggled at Roma, who've been flying since he left. I think he struggled at Tottenham when he had some of the better players, the Harry Kane, Son, Lloris. Like they had a very good squad there when he was there, and I think he should have done a lot better. And he didn't do anything. I think we obviously, I know he won a few trophies at United, but he struggled massively at United. I just think everywhere he's been since the second spell at Chelsea, I feel like he's struggled, and I just don't think it's worth the risk. I don't think it's worth upsetting the players, having somebody that opinionated, and that not even necessarily opinionated, but that brash, that big-headed, that egotistical. I don't think it's worth upsetting the players for that. I don't think the fans will take to him, especially with this whole, the image of him, Jose Mourinho joins the scum and all that. Like, I just don't think it's a good idea in the slightest.
I think that with the Son, that's a non-runner anyway, isn't it? I don't even think he's up for an interview. I don't think we'll even discuss it. Just saying, I think that's where we need to be going. We need to be going somewhere completely different direction than Klopp. We need it to be a step away from what we already know. We need to get someone in. Probably it is a time of uncertainty now. We've got players who we thought were going to be world beaters who aren't quite performing as they were. We've got players older, players aging. People are saying Salah's past it. There's rumours of Diaz wanting out. Alisson's house is up for sale. I don't know whether that's because he's off or he's moving. But his house is up for sale, 100%. Yeah. So there's a bit of uncertainty. I think a person like Mourinho comes in, any big heads he chops straight away. He does make it about him, and he'd have enough resources and finances to go and build a team that can win in any way. But as you just said, like that thing with the Son and that's a non-starter for us. Just because it's like an exclusive in it. he's done little bits there, and you go, oh, he's got no affiliation to Liverpool, but he's a football man. He understands football. He knows what them cunts done. So I think anyone with a bit of tact about him wouldn't do it. So yeah, he's out.
Yeah,
he's out.
yeah,
But yeah, I just think we do need someone a little bit different. I think we need a different identity. I think we need to change our way. We've had the Klopp way, it's been brilliant. But if someone's going to come in and try and do what he's done already and carry it on, I just don't think it's going to work. I think we need something completely new. I said when he announced that he was going, that I hope someone can just come in and carry on. And, that was something more sentiment that you want to be still Jurgen Klopp's team, if you get me. Still playing, still have that identity. But now in hindsight and, looking at what direction we're going to go, I think we need a complete change up. We need to play. I think like the footy we've played for 9 years, been brilliant. It's been a fucking roller coaster. But I'm content with it. Like a Benitez or someone, or a Mourinho who's going to come in and get you 1-0 wins and sit back, and it just doesn't have to be all fucking full throttle all the time. I'm just ready for if it's not going to be a lot, then I'm ready for change. Yeah, I'm just ready for it.
No, I think Kevo I used to work with has got the best approach I've seen from it so far, because there's people having meltdowns that would supposedly not getting on with him now. There's people having meltdowns about everything because that's what Twitter is. But and I think he's got the most sensible approach to it. Is there's no point being sort of positive or negative about anybody at the minute, because we just got to wait and see how we play under the new manager before you start forming a proper opinion. Just because a manager's done brilliant elsewhere doesn't mean they're going to come in and do the same with us, or just because they failed elsewhere doesn't mean they're going to come and fail with us. It's like, it's a new leaf, isn't it? You're turning over a new leaf. It's a whole new fucking chapter of the club. It's like, we haven't had a change for 9 years, as you say, nearly a decade. It's like this is rare for us. This is a unknown entity for us in a way. We're not used to changing manager really at the minute. Even before that, we had Rodgers for what I think he got like 4 seasons, three and a half seasons, didn't he, in the end? So even that was like, for a manager who really only had one good season for us, he got a fair crack of the whip. The only one who didn't was Roy Hodgson, and that's because we actually would have got relegated.
That's what I mean. I think that's part of the battle as well as that it is. We all haven't got a clue what to do with ourselves, because we're not used to it, are we? We're not used to the way the manager's going, and we don't know. I think everyone wants to know everything there and then, and I think they would have liked Klopp to just get off and be replaced and crack on. At least he's getting a proper send off. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's just no one out there that really interests me. And as you just said about Kev, like, you just got whoever comes in, whether it be one that's being linked, one that we've never heard of, one that we don't want. You've just got to, whoever it is, you've got to have to get behind it, have a little bit of belief in the system that he brings, and see how we go. And you can only judge him on results. He's not taking over a team of crabs. He's going to be taking over a really good side. But I just think we'll benefit from a bit of calm. So there's not a manager in world football that can replace Jurgen Klopp and excite you.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's going to be the worst substitution ever.
Yeah, pretty much. So the next question he asked then was, do you feel like the team... What are you doing? Fuck off, one sec. Do you feel like the team has lost its chemistry and charm a bit? If so, what did they do to get it back?
We have, yeah. As I've said before, we've lost our identity a bit. I actually said before, like, if you didn't know that Klopp was announcing he's leaving, you'd think he'd already gone, because the team's not playing like a Jurgen Klopp team anymore. The identity, the press, the energy, everything that we're known for isn't there at the moment. And I don't know how we get it back, because I don't know why it's gone. I don't know whether it's emotion. I don't know whether it's sheer to just drained because they're all in the same boat as us. They're hating each game as it comes because it's a step closer to the man they love leaving. I don't know whether it's just obviously we're distraught. So imagine the lads who are with him for 8 hours a day, every day, who've been on the ride with him, and it must be hard. Something's gone on them. Like we said before about Canate. Canate was brilliant. Jurgen Klopp announced he was leaving. He made a statement that he'd give his life for him, and he's been shit since. So I don't know whether it's just a case they're all, you can sometimes try too hard mentally, and it affects you physically. And I feel like that's what's happening at the minute. There's just something going on that doesn't quite make sense. The way to get it back is a conversation to say, listen, if we carry on like this, we end up with a Carabao Cup, and it could have been so much better. The farewell won't be what we wanted. What we want is last game of the season to go in and have a shout at the league title, and that's only going to happen if we win football games. So that's got to be the confidence boost and the energy boost that they need. So we've got to go and win footy games.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, like you said, confidence is key at the minute, and the way you start that is that second half performance against Fulham. It's exactly what we needed. It's exactly what we've been asking for the last few games, in fairness. And I think that hopefully can be now the catalyst. That can be the kick-off again that we need for the next, for the last 5 games now. So I think, just have that belief again. I feel like we've just been lacking that self-belief as a team that would 2-3 months ago, if we went 1-0 down against Palace, we would have come back and won that 4-1. 2-3 months ago, we went 1-0 down against Atalanta at home, we would have come back and won that, 3 or 4-1.
You were laughing at it. It was like a trend.
It was like a running joke.
Go down 1-0 and we come back and slaughter the second half. But then that stopped happening. We stopped performing.
Which we said it would.
Yeah, just the frustrating thing for me is because there's not a pinpoint situation where you can go, that's what's caused it. Obviously, Klopp announcing he's leaving. The professional athletes, they should be able to cope with that in a professional manner and carry on playing. But it just feels like the identity's gone. It feels like we're playing a different style, a different way, when the way we've been doing it's been working. So I don't get it. It's just a flick of a switch. We've stopped pressing. We've stopped grafting. We've stopped working hard. Positionally, we're all over the place. Defensively, we're all over the place. Offensively, we've got one lad up, and then no one's like cramming the box or making space. There's no quick football anymore. You know what I mean? It's just a completely different identity at the moment. And then, to say, against Fulham, we look like Liverpool again. Second half, something clicked again, and we look like Liverpool. We were playing one touch footy. We were playing it around the box. We were making space. We were getting shots off. We had a bit of confidence about us. And say sometimes, I don't know, it's mad to analyse it in football because everything seems so over-analysed. But something must have happened for us to go from that to that, and then from that back to that. So just got to say, there's 5 cup finals to go. Everyone we play is a step closer to being in the title race till the very last day, and that's all we can hope for. Anything can happen. So, got to win our games. I've said before, I don't technically think we'll win all our games, but I don't think the others will either. I think Arsenal definitely top points. City's running looks a lot easier than ours and Arsenal's, but again, they just have times where they don't look great defensively. So someone has the ball to have a go at them. Like Real Madrid the other day, had a go at them for 15 minutes or 12 minutes, scored, and then never had another shot. And it looked like City could have scored 10. They just absolutely tore them apart. But that's fucking footy for you, lads. You don't always get what you deserve. And fingers crossed, teams have shown when they have a go at City, they can take points off them. They can beat them because they do. They're like a bully. When you hit them back, they don't like it. And we've just got to have. It's a bit grim that it's not in our hands and we're not in complete control over it all. But anything can happen. So we've just got to fucking back them.
That's it. So massive game Wednesday. Merseyside derby, fucking gonna be just chaos. Always are. hopefully somebody can be the next Divock Origi, and haunt
Jota.
them forevermore.
Jota.
So yeah, look, it's a bit of a difficult one now because we play Wednesday and then Saturday, don't we? So I don't know whether we'll end up being back next, like the weekend or something after the West Ham game. But you know, we'll be back. We've done it all season this time, which has been nice on it. But yeah, 5 cup finals to go. And yeah, just fucking up the Reds.
Up the Reds.